Have you ever just stared at a really complex machine and wondered, how does that even work? How do all those little bits and pieces take raw brute force and turn it into something so precise and controlled? Well, today we're going under the hood to uncover the fundamental secrets that make it all happen. Think about it. Inside an engine, you've got a series of tiny, controlled explosions that are, frankly, pretty violent. It's chaotic. And yet, what you get out the other side is this smooth, reliable, powerful rotation. So the big question, the one we're tackling today, is how does a machine take all that chaotic energy and tame it into useful work? To figure that out, we're going to go on a little journey. We'll start with the big picture, the whole machine, and then we're going to zoom way in, piece by piece, to see how every single part plays its own critical role. And I promise, by the end, you'll see the entire system in a totally new way. All right, first stop on our journey is one of the most fundamental, most important parts in all of mechanics, the gear. Seriously, you can think of them as the teeth of the machine. They bite into motion and transfer power exactly where it needs to go. Now, we're going to focus on the most common type, the one you probably picture in your head, the spur gear. Its design is just brilliant in its simplicity. Straight teeth cut parallel to its axis. This is the absolute workhorse for moving power between two parallel shafts, and it does it with zero slipping. Okay, so spur gears are great for going in a straight line. But what if your motion needs to, turn a corner? Well, that's where the gear family gets really cool. To make a 90-degree turn, you need something like a bevel gear. See how its shape is kind of like a cone? That is perfectly designed to move power between shafts that cross paths, completely changing the direction of the force. And no, the specialization does not stop there. What if you want to turn a spinning motion into a straight line motion? Like, say, in a car's steering system. That's a job for a rack and pinion. Or what if you need a huge drop in speed but a massive boost in torque? The worm gear is your go-to. Each one of these is a master of its own little domain. So, we've got the physical parts, right? The hardware. But what about the rules that govern how they all interact? Let's dive into the unseen forces, the fundamental laws of physics that every single machine has to obey, no exceptions.
Now, for gears to work like they're supposed to, they have to follow a very specific rule, the law of gearing. Okay, it sounds complicated, but stick with me, the core idea is actually pretty simple. As two teeth push on each other, the line of force between them has to pass through one single fixed spot, always. That spot's called the pitch point. If it does that, you get smooth, steady power. If it doesn't, well, you get noise, vibration, and a whole lot of wear and tear.
And this diagram here, this shows the incredible precision that makes that law work. Every single part of the gear tooth has a name and is calculated down to the micron. The very tip of the tooth, that's the addendum. The root, down to the bottom, is the dedendum. The exact shape and size of these parts is what guarantees the teeth mesh perfectly, keeping that contact point right where it needs to be for smooth, predictable motion. Okay, let's zoom out for a second to a really big idea, a universal principle, static equilibrium. This is basically the goal for any stable machine part. All it means is that all the forces, the pushing, the pulling, the twisting, they all cancel each other out completely. Everything is in perfect balance. Now, don't let the math on this slide scare you, because you don't need to be a mathematician to get the sheer beauty of it. All this is really saying is that when you add up all the forces and you add up all the torques, the answer is zero. Nothing. This is the golden rule of machine design, perfect balance. Every push has an equal and opposite push. It's the very definition of stability. But what happens when those rules get broken? What happens when that perfect geometry we were just talking about, well, isn't so perfect? This is where all that theory smacks right into the real world of engineering problems. So one of the classic problems in gear design is something called interference, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when the tip of one gear tooth literally collides with and starts digging into the bottom of the tooth on the other gear. It causes grinding, it causes wear, and it can eventually just destroy the machine. This is a fantastic way to picture it. Imagine two people on bikes riding side by side holding hands. If their arms are too long, they can't ride smoothly. They're just going to jam up and bump elbows. That is exactly what's happening with those gear teeth. The geometry is just off. And of course, engineers have solved this with math. For a standard gear with what's called a 20-degree pressure angle, that's just the angle the teeth push at, they've calculated that the smaller gear, the pinion, needs to have at least 18 teeth. 18. Any less, and you get bumping elbows. It's a hard and fast rule that comes from pure geometry. But what if you absolutely have to use fewer than 18 teeth? Well, engineers have a few clever fixes for that too. You can actually change the angle of the teeth to give them a bit more clearance. You can obviously try to use more teeth if possible, or you can even perform a kind of microsurgery on the tooth itself, just slightly changing its thickness. It's all about making sure they have a smooth, collision-free path to follow. Okay, so we've fixed our gears. They're perfect now, transferring power without any issues. But that takes us all the way back to our very first problem. The power coming from an engine isn't smooth, so how do we fix that? Let's zoom back out and look at the whole system again.
This diagram shows the problem crystal clear. The energy coming from an engine is not a nice, steady stream. It comes in these big, powerful pulses. You can see the peaks where there's tons of energy and the valleys where there's almost none. That straight line in the middle, that's the average power the machine needs to run, but the supply is all over the map.
So the question becomes, how do you capture all that extra energy from the peaks and use it to fill in the valleys? How do you possibly smooth out this wild, jerky ride into a steady, constant flow of power?
The answer is this elegant and honestly beautiful device, the flywheel. A flywheel is basically a mechanical battery. It's just a heavy wheel that stores rotational energy. So, when the engine delivers a big surge of power, the flywheel absorbs that extra energy and speeds up just a tiny bit. Then, when the engine hits a low power spot, the flywheel's own inertia keeps everything spinning, releasing that stored energy right back into the system.
And so we arrive right back where we started. But now when you look at this, you see it completely differently, don't you? You see the gears, designed with incredible precision to transfer force without ever slipping. And you see that massive flywheel, acting like a mechanical heart, absorbing and releasing energy to keep the whole system stable. It's this beautiful partnership between these different parts, all governed by the laws of physics, that transforms total chaos into perfect control. The secrets of the machine revealed.